Hey all, it's Dr. Joni, and I wanted to talk about something really, really near and dear to my heart, and something that I think is really important to share with parents and therapists out there that are interested in helping kids with cerebral palsy to be able to learn new skills quicker, make progress quicker, and really unlock the potential that maybe has not even been touched before. And I am wearing my green for cerebral palsy awareness, and we're sharing this in March because it is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. So what am I talking about? Well, if you watched my video from last week on total motion release, TMR, Tots and Teens, I want to talk a little bit about how it applies to the CP population, because we have found in our practice that we are able to help a lot of kids unleash potential that no one tapped into before. Now, one of the hot topics you hear a lot about is tone and spasticity when it comes to children and adults with cerebral palsy. So these kids have a lot of spasticity, tightening, stiffness in their bodies. But what happens is kids are so persistent. Kids, they work a lot harder than us adults. Kids want to get things done. Kids want to get from point A to point B. They don't really care about how. They don't really care about how it looks like. They just want to make it happen. And that's one of the most amazing things about kids and about working with kids and about watching them develop despite whatever challenges their bodies are giving to them. So with our kids, they are working so hard and they're going to pull in whatever they can to help them accomplish what they're looking to accomplish, get from point A to point B. I see that phone across the room. I'm going to get there. I don't care how. I see mom's phone and I want that now. I see that remote control. I want that now. And they're going to figure out how to get there. So part of the process of figuring out how to get there when you have excess tone is more tone kicks in. So then often these kids are looked at as, oh, we have a tone problem. We need to use medication, surgery, some of those medical interventions to manage this tone because the tone's blocking what a child could be doing. So that's if we really focus on the tone. But what if the tone is trying to help for the missing strength and motor control going on in the body? Remember, these kids are pulling in whatever they can to accomplish the task. So when they're working really hard, they're pulling in that tone. The tone is a barrier. They're still trying to pull in whatever they can. So what does this have to do with TMR? So with TMR, we're really working on building quality of movements in alignment and making it as easy as possible for kids to develop new skills. So the first piece is to be able to have access to equal movement in all planes. So with TMR, we look at how easy can a child move in one direction compared to the other. And then like all of our kind of thought processes that Kid PT, we're always then looking at using the strengths and the easier side to make changes. So we're looking at where the imbalances are, how to get them balanced out. So that's our first step, because when things are balanced out, things can turn on more easily. So our kid who has their body is stacked here, and instead of really lined up here, so all the muscles are lined up and ready to turn on, if they're here, and then maybe here, and then maybe here, it's really hard for those muscles to turn on. And then it's really hard to then learn how to do new skills like walking, like crawling, all of those things when your body's here. If we can stack things up and have equal mobility everywhere, then all of a sudden we can access our balance reactions in all planes. So you'll see some kids, maybe they can go reach to one side and everything is smooth. And when they're doing that, one side's getting long, one side's getting short. You see how my hand's opening on one side? That's the side of the body getting long and the other side getting short. But when they go to shift the other way, that side's not getting long. So the child will either overuse a part of their body, they'll kick in tone, they'll do whatever they have to do to make it happen anyway, but something will look awkward, stiffer. So if you see a child that can always reach to the left or shift to the left and they don't fall down. They keep their balance or they're able to reach better, but they can't go to the other side. Most of the time, it's not an arm issue. It's not a tone in the arm issue. It's what's going on in the body. And we can use strategies to change that relatively quickly and get things moving and build up that foundation of what the child can do. The other piece with TMR that is huge when it comes to kids with cerebral palsy is, can we take their strengths? Can we look at what they can control and build off that, and then build and build and build and build? So what does that mean? Let's go back to that example of a child who can reach one way, but when they go the other way, they lose their balance or they have a hard time reaching. We can work on that same skill of what the child can do and have them work on reaching the one direction, but do it over and over again. How hard can they do it? How can you make it really, really challenging where the child doesn't need to pull in their tone to accomplish it? And then we retest the hard side. And what do you know? Very, very quickly, the other side opens up. It's a much quicker process than what we typically do in therapy, is identifying the hard stuff and practicing those. So instead, if we can break down what a child can do and build off that, instead of that really kind of practicing hard stuff improves things just at a really slow pace. If we can take advantage of what the child can do, flood the brain and body with what I can do, overflow from that easy side to the harder side, all of a sudden our skills are going like this. Instead of this slow and steady, we can actually make things improve at that quicker pace. So we're just talking about shifting our focus and attention, shifting away just from the tone and looking at the tones kicking in for some other reason. And can we decrease that reason? Can we give them more resources to pull from so they don't have to just rely on the tone and using that to help them? Can we balance out the body, stack things up, set the child up for success, and then build on the skills they have? It can be something really small. It can be the child can roll one direction, but can't roll the other direction. We can build on that. We can turn that into rolling both directions. We can turn that into rolling and moving into sitting. We can build that into sitting skills. We can work on sitting balance, but it doesn't have to be just practicing the hard stuff. We can look at the foundations combined with alignment and work at whatever the highest skill set is for that child to then increase it from there. Any questions? Just add them out down below. I can't wait to keep sharing with you more about TMR and how we apply it with different kids and different needs and different populations. But ask your questions away. I'm happy to share. I'm happy to answer any of the specific questions that you may have. And let's keep learning together, all for the kids.